to Dog Food TV, another installment. This is the day after the Seattle Seahawks loss, and we ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna get right into it. Make this video today, didn't make one yesterday. I wanted to think about what I saw and really process where I think the game went wrong. And, a game is 4 quarters. You can't play 58 minutes. You got to play 60 minutes. And so I want to just look at the last drive specifically, from the time the defense forced a punt and the Browns got the ball. And we're going to look at, I don't think I can show the video, so we're just going to have to look at the stills. But you probably watched the game, so you'll be able to get a feel for what I'm talking about. All right, so if we'll start with this first still right here. You see the score by quarter. You see it was 17-7 in the first, and then Cleveland's defense held them scoreless for the second, third, and fourth quarters up to this point. Now, to me, this indicates that your number one defense, while they may have had a rough first quarter, they made the necessary adjustments that they needed to make. And now you are up 3 with about 4.5 minutes left to go to win the game and improve to 5-2. The Steelers had already lost, so you could take second place in the AFC North. So let's move it on along here. All right, so it's 5 minutes and 46 seconds left. 20-17, 1st and 10. And it looks like they are on the 11-yard line. So, believe this is a handoff. Yeah, this is a handoff to Jerome Ford. And it looked like Jerome Ford got about 5 or 6 yards on that play. All right, so clock is running because it was a run play, and so he got 6 yards on that. 2nd and 4. All right, let's take a look at the ball control graphic that they have on the screen. 65 plays for Cleveland, 375 yards. Time of possession, 32 minutes, 37 seconds. Seattle was 49 plays, 310 yards, 21 minutes, 47 seconds. So, despite the slow start in the first half, the Browns were able to control the rest of the game up until that point. So let's go ahead and move on to the second down play. All right, second down. It's about 5 minutes and 10 seconds left. All right, so 5:07. Looks like he's going to snap it right here. So 2nd and 4. They're on the 17-yard line, looks like. All right. And read option, quarterback keeper. Very safe play. Looks like he gets about 6 yards on that first down. Clock keeps ticking. Now, we already saw the time of possession. Seattle's defense has been on the field for 32, 33 minutes. So, if you're in the analytics like this team is, the analytics should tell you that fatigue is going to factor in. And your strength is running the ball. I believe coming into this game, they were 12 or 13, maybe even higher. They might have been top 10 in the run offense. And we know in the passing offense, they were bottom third. I think they were 31st. So you got a 1st and 10. Looks like you're on the 22-yard line. 4 minutes, 24 seconds left. Let's see. We got a handoff up the middle to Jerome Ford. It looks like they were going to give him 4 yards on that. But when they initially spot the ball, they only gave him 3 yards. So 2nd and 7. Clock was running. So now you're on the 25-yard line, 2nd and 7. 3 minutes, 40 3 minutes, 40 seconds, somewhere around there. Got another read option. Now, here's one of the flaws of this drive. Jerome Ford gets good yardage, but he goes out of bounds. Stops the clock. So positive yardage there, but now the clock is stopped. So instead of running it down another 30 seconds, clock is stopped. Kind of reminds me of the Jets game last season, where I can't remember which running back went out of bounds, but somebody went out of bounds and it stopped the clock. So let's keep it going here. Play clock is running down. And so you're on the 29-yard line, 3rd and 3. Shotgun. And this looks like a 25-yard pass that ended up being incomplete. But what happened? You got bailed out with the flag. Looks like you had illegal hands to the face at the top of the screen on Donovan Peoples-Jones' route. So they gifted you a first down. To pass it there, I don't love it. Slightly dislike it because clock management and the clock is against them. They only have 2 timeouts left at that point. So, and the way you've been running, I do think the read option, you kill them with the read option game at this point. Or maybe a play action bootleg, something like that. But again, got bailed out with a first down, similar to the last couple of weeks. So fresh set of downs. So let's move on. We're going to wrap this up. This isn't going to be no long video. All right. 20-17, 3 minutes, 30 seconds left, 1st and 10. They're on the 34-yard line, still in their own territory. You got another read option. Quarterback keeper, P.J. Walker keeps it. Looks like he gets about 2 to 3 yards. Clock is ticking. They only give him 2 on that, so 2nd and 8. All right, clock is ticking. All right. Snaps it with 5 seconds left on the play clock. It's 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Got a toss to the left. Pierre Strong. Decent yardage there. Sets up a short yardage situation. And this is why Jerome Ford going out of bounds, that definitely hurt, because that would have either forced Seattle to burn one of the timeouts, or you're already below 2 minutes at this point. So now Browns choose to run the clock all the way down, take a timeout to talk about what they're going to do. Now, part of what's confusing is that you call a timeout, and I've always been critical of coaches in any sport where you call a timeout and you're supposed to draw up a money play. You're supposed to draw up a play that the team is comfortable running. They've worked on it. It's like clockwork. They can do it in their sleep. It's supposed to cater to the team's strengths. You know, maybe you can mix in a little bit of confusion, maybe a little trickery, but 3rd and 3, you should have a money play dialed up, ready to go. And the reason that I think people are criticizing this play call is if you go back to the earlier graphic, the defense had blanked them 2nd, 3rd, and 4th quarters up until that point. It's 20-17. It's 3rd and 3. If you want to be aggressive and try to win the game, you can run the ball, take it to 2 minutes, and now you either have a 4th and 3, or 4th and 2, 4th and 1, 4th and inches. You're assuming that they don't lose no yards. Because if they do lose yards, then they obviously punt it. So it looks like you got Njoku going to the flat. Looks like Moore was running a slant. it looked like Cooper was running a drag route of some sort. I can't see what Peoples-Jones was running. It looked like he might have been running a slant as well, at least from this angle. So it looked like maybe they had stick dialed up. Again, from this angle, I can't see. Obviously, the one player that was open was Jerome Ford on the check down. Again, the problem with this play is that it looks like it was just a play that was called. And if you take a sack there, it doesn't hurt you. Clock runs, you lose yardage, you punt the ball away, you make them go 80 yards. Obviously a freak play with it going off his helmet, ricocheting up into the air. But when you talk about situational football, it puts you in the mind frame of Seattle versus New England. And football at its core is a simple game. It is a simple game, and I think analytics has made it more complex than it has to be. If your defense is tired and our strength is running the ball, you're at a disadvantage. If they stop your strength, which is running the ball, you tip your cap to them. If they stop you on third down on running it, you punt the ball and they move the ball to get in field goal range and kick a field goal, or they score a touchdown like they did with the short field, you tip your cap to them because you got the number one defense in the league. If they do that against the number one defense, I think most people would say they deserve to win and you deserved to lose. The problem is that, and I could almost understand this play call if you're up 4 and they need a touchdown, but you're only up 3. They intercept that ball and it looks like they get it right around the 45, 50 yard line. So they're at midfield. They're the short field. So, Seattle had Marshawn Lynch. They chose to run a pick play. New England was prepared for the pick play. Obviously, you know what happened. We just watched a run play for 6 yards. We watched a read option play for 6 yards. We watched a handoff for 3 yards. We watched a read option for 4 yards. We watched an incomplete pass that resulted in a first down because of a flag, so you really got bailed out. Then we saw another read option for 2 yards. We saw a toss left for 5 yards. That set up the 3rd and 3. You were gaining positive yardage. I don't really have the time to do the math, but you got nothing less than 2 yards and you had 2 6-yard carries. So you were at least getting 3 to 4 yards a carry. Why they didn't just stick with the read option or hit them with a play action bootleg, a jet sweep, something that's safe, a safe call. You can still be aggressive, but you can still be smart. That is where the frustration with the offense comes in, because you had this game won. You had it won. 3rd and 3 is manageable and you were running 3 running backs. Your running backs were fresh. Hunt looked good. Strong looked the best out of the 3, and Ford. You had 3 fresh backs. And I honestly believe if Nick Chubb was not injured and he played in this game, they would have called the exact same thing. At some point, you have to say, we're going to do what we do well, which is run. We're going to execute it. We don't care if you know that it's coming. And that's what we're going to do. Because, again, if they punt this ball, pin them deep, I have no problem if they lose that game because the Seahawks go down and score on the number one defense. Up until that point, they hadn't done anything. They had been 2nd, 3rd, 4th. They had goose eggs on them, aside from that first start when the defense made the necessary adjustments. So, 5-2, missed a golden opportunity. And really, if it wasn't for a couple of flags in the last couple of weeks, that this could easily be 3 losses in a row. But thankfully, the football gods seem to have smiled upon them with some of the calls that they got to, and I think some of those were reasonable calls. I don't think they got gifted any fake calls, but you can't depend on that. And this was a game where you had to win it. You weren't going to get bailed out, even though you got a penalty, and I think it was a legit penalty. You weren't going to get bailed out. You had to go and win this game. That's what makes this game here so hard to deal with, because the Steelers game, you had the opportunity to go win that game and you lost that game. The Ravens game, you never really were in it because of what the offense wasn't able to do. But this game and the Steelers game were games that were winnable. You had them there. Again, similar. 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3, short yardage. What happens? Strip sack, fumble. They take it back for a touchdown. You lose. 3rd and 3. You throw it again, interception. So 2 games that you lose based on turnovers that they then turn into points, whether it was the defense or the offense. That can't happen, especially if you're trying to make a deep playoff run. Your strength is the run game and the defense. You can win games that way. Make the passes when you need to. Now, when Deshaun Watson comes back, obviously that's going to change up what type of plays can be called, when they can be called. But yeah, they're 4-3 now. Cincinnati seems to be clicking. Obviously Baltimore is doing their thing, but nobody's running away with it. So we'll see what the next month of games, what November looks like. And, maybe they figure it out. Maybe they can get the offense rolling, but I don't see this team becoming anything higher than a 20th ranked pass offense, and that's being generous given where they are right now. I think Stefanski is good at working with what he has, but even if you go back the last couple of years, I can think about the Green Bay game when Baker Mayfield threw the interception. It just seems that when the defense does enough to keep you in the game, the offense doesn't do its part to go and win the game. And that, in order for them to make a run, that's going to have to be corrected. Now, the benefit to the next couple of weeks is that, you got the Cardinals. You can't lose that game. And, again, the schedule is fairly soft aside from your division rivals that you got coming. I mean, you definitely, the Bengals easily have the hardest schedule. But, I think it should have been a run. I think you should have played somewhat conservative. And if you were going to be aggressive, you need to be aggressive with the run game, because that's what you were moving the ball on. But we can go ahead and wrap it up on that. Y'all get the gist of it. Dog Food TV, sponsored by Dog Food Store, premium sportswear brand for Cleveland football fans. And we'll catch y'all on the next one.